Morning everybody, it's Chris here from Serene Education with the 4 majors numbers update for the 11th of September 2012. Hi guys, hope you had a fantastic trading day yesterday. Not much movement yesterday in terms because of what happened on Friday. A lot of movement over the past couple of weeks, and yesterday if you look at the euro here on the daily, you can see price really moving into that institution moving average and coming unstuck just below the 128500 mark. This being the institution, price, well, people taking profits. Bit of profit taking from yesterday or last week's bullish momentum. So where to from here? Well, in order for price to continue to the upside, we'll obviously need to get above this 128500 mark. The sooner the better. However, you can see that we haven't been above the institution moving average since just briefly in October of last year, but before then through August. From August onwards, we were trading above the institution moving average here, roughly around the 1400. A lot of support through here. Then we had a break, this failed break over here, for example, this tweeted top almost, evening star formation, really not really taking the ball by the horns here and moving higher, subsequently pulling back, major fake out that before we saw a huge correction to the downside. So not trading above this institution moving average for quite some time, and we are now testing it in real time. So to get any further progression to the upside, we do need to see that 1285 being breached as soon as possible. Higher swings depicts upside movement, swing high, swing high, swing high, swing high. So everything looking great at the moment. We are seeing consolidation now at the underside of this 128500 mark. So going forward, we've got a lot of news to out today, or the next couple of days in particular, for Europe. One that's really been on everybody's mind. Well, we saw that euro slipped. Well, primarily because the Greeks haven't really, they rejected roughly around about 2.0 billion euros of the proposed 11.5 billion austerity program. They say it's not worth it for whatever reason. And then we have the Italian Prime Minister arguing against the conditional proposed by the ECB's new bond purchasing program. It's there, it's happening. There's a ruling in courts that we should hear about in the next couple of days. The European Stability Mechanism. It's all got to do with Draghi's new bond purchasing program for countries that are in major debt or requiring bailout funding. So they will require that country to put forward their request to the ECB, and the ECB will look at it and then say, okay, great, yeah, we will help you out with purchasing any of your bad debt. However, you need to do X, Y, Z, and a lot of people are looking at these measures that the ECB is putting in place as quite stringent. But that's what they want, and is ruling against it. They're trying to rule against this in courts in Germany. So look for any news relating to it, because it could be very decisive for Europe. Overall, very, very, very important piece of news going forward. If we do see a positive figure, then you obviously the euro climb quite drastically. If not, then we could see a real big fault in a big way. So be aware of it. Okay, so for Europe, euro against US dollar, do need to see 1285 being breached. We have a consolidation here. You can see a bit of upside movement. If you can stand at or stay below this and hug this area here. Just below it, we'll pull back 23.6 or 38.2 over Fib retracement. If we can stay on these niches here, then we could definitely see price reattempting these highs quite soon. Onto sterling. Here you can see my daily chart of this particular pair with all my major support and resistance levels on it. You can see 1600 of here being breached just recently. Price on Friday moving higher. We had a bit of an indecision candle yesterday, spinning top. We want to see a decision. That spinning top coming at a major support and resistance level. So decisive candle has to be above this in order to see price reverting or continuing to the upside in this case. And you can see that I've got my Fib retracement areas on here, 23, the 38, the 50, 61, and now price is heading, or more likely to head up towards that 78.6 before we see a full retracement to roughly around the 16300 mark. So as it stands now, indecisive yesterday, we want to see a decision candle. So if we can get above 1600, then we should be looking at roughly targeting the 1608 for the foreseeable future, or for this week at least. All the moving averages below price. CTC is very much in favor of upside. We are trading at a major support and resistance level. So anybody looking for an entry, got to see this candle closing higher to give us confirmation that we should be looking topside favorite. Otherwise, we don't trade indecision candles. See indecision, decisive candle, but we do need to see decision. we do need to see a decision because we are trading at a major support and resistance level. So wait for this candle to close higher, preferably above 1600, and then we'll target the upside. Next up is US dollar Swiss franc. Here again you can see my major support and resistance levels on the daily chart here. Price breaking lower after the news on the US markets data on Friday, and moving so down towards a price support and resistance level in the shape of the 945 9400 mark, which brings us to the institution moving average. So full retracement here, so I can take that fib projection point out. Now sitting at the institution moving average, you can see yesterday's range very indecisive, consolidative after this move to the downside. After this break of this consolidative range, it went through over a number of, a week in particular. So where do we need to go from here? Well, if this is to still remained negative in this case, we still need to see the institution moving average being broken. You can see that more zoom out. The last time we were actually trading below the institution moving average was in August, September, like it was doing on the European or the Euro US dollar pair. So got to get below that to see any further extensions to the downside. And so what we need to see now is a nice bearish engulfing candle breaking below that major support or support area here in the shape of the 9400, the institution. You can see the CTC has gone red, has been red for a number of weeks. So all we need now is a nice bearish engulfing candle to take us lower, and then we should be targeting lows to the downside. So as it stands now, wait for a nice bearish engulfing candle. We don't trade indecision. Yesterday's candle very indecisive, very small trading range. We want to see a decision. And the decision needs, in this case, to be still bearish to see further sentiment to the downside. We do need to see that 9400 being breached as soon as possible. So hang on, wait for that announcement, or wait for this confirmation to occur, and then we'll trade the outcome. Last pair of the day is US dollar Japanese yen. You can see this pair has been trading in a range for a number of months, below the institution moving average, but also being capped by a major support here at 7800. A lot of support through 7800 and resistance above us at 80, and you can see in between all this the institution moving average. Notice CTC on the other side is primarily red, one or two areas of blue, however still trading below a major resistance level here in the shape of the 80, and hence we are making lower swings, which dictates downside movement or negative sentiment. We are however being stopped from moving any lower by this major support and resistance level here in the shape of the 7800 area. A couple days ago we saw a bearish engulfing candle on Friday's news announcement, taking away all that upside movement on Thursday, trading below the institution moving average, including the smaller term moving averages. However, you can see how it actually touched the 78 and then moved back by the end of the close on Friday night in the US session. Yesterday's trading range very, very small, very indecisive. You want to see a decision. In this case, we are still hugging the bottom end of the 78. We're not bouncing any higher. We want to see a breach of 78 to see any further downside movement. Otherwise, it's going to consolidate, and we don't trade consolidation because we're not making any money. Okay, we're just wasting time. So we want to see a decision candle, whether it's a bullish engulfing candle finding support to see another reattempt of roughly around the 79 or back towards institution, or breach of 78 to see further continuation to the downside, with long-term targets being the 76, which happens to be a price support and resistance level going back to last year in particular. 2011 was a major support for this particular pair. So here again, a lot of them are in consolidative ranges for very good reason, because there's a lot of news coming out on Europe this week. Very important news, especially with that ESM court announcement in Germany. That's going to be the one that everybody is looking at the moment now. There's also one or two issues with Greece not accepting the full 11.3 billion cuts that they need to do in order to get the next installments of I think it's about 30 billion euros. So they're dragging their feet, and there's loads of problems in Italy and Spain, as we all know. So there's a lot of emphasis on Europe at the moment. So let's see what happens in the next couple of days to give us that. We could very well get our decision candles in the next couple of days. So be patient. Wait for those confirmations, guys. The ones that are patient are the ones that are making the money out there. Make sure your templates rules are in place before we actually trade. We're seeing a lot of consolidation over the past couple of days after Friday's announcement. We need to be vigilant, need to be patient, wait for the market to make its move. Okay, don't speculate. Those are the ones that speculate are the ones that are making losses. So keep it tidy, back it up with sound money management. Very, very important. And keep your trading simple. Okay, let the market make its move, and then we'll trade on the outcome. Okay, so Have a great day, and I'll see you first thing tomorrow morning. Until then, trade serenely.